What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Wilson Urena, aka Willie the Kid, with my man, Chris Henderson. What's going on, Chris?
What's up, man? How's everything going?
Ain't much, man. This is Eastwick Sports, and we're gonna break it down today, man. We're gonna talk about this past weekend. Errol Spence basically had his way with Mikey Garcia. Outboxed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Chris, how you see that fight, man?
A lot different than what I predicted. Although, I mean,
I tried to tell you.
Yeah, I know you did, and I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. That I totally agree that your assessment was spot on. I drank the Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? And
I told you they wasn't gonna press that front foot forward,
bro. I just don't understand it, man. In retrospect, I seen. We talked about it earlier this week, me and you, and we actually talked about it in the group too. That is what Mikey did the same as quitting. Did he quit? No, he didn't quit. But what he did was,
well, he quit on himself.
He didn't dare to. Yeah. He never. But see, I don't know if he quit on himself or if he quit before the fight ever started. I'm not so sure that the game plan wasn't to survive all along. And I'll tell you why. How many adjustments you see Robert Garcia start giving out or instructions? How much instruction do you really see him giving the corner?
There was none.
Okay. How after every round did Mikey not come back with his hand raised like, "Ooh, I made it another 3 minutes"?
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not sure that wasn't plan A all along, just to survive. I don't know because I wasn't in the ring. Or maybe he got in there and he said, I think it was a start of round. Was it start of round 4? It was 4 or 5, somewhere in that area, where Mikey come out offensive to begin the start of the round, but it didn't last but just a few seconds, remember?
Yeah.
And I think if you watch that right there, you can see where Mikey makes a slight adjustment where he opens his feet just a little bit more, but he still ain't do what he was supposed to be doing. He has to be a little bit more to become a tad more offensive. What that does is it allows him to feel set more frequently. You know, I've been going on for years and years about how bad his footwork actually is. How that it's good balance. He's got good footwork. Don't get me wrong. What he don't have is the ability to. He can't trick his mind into letting his fucking hands go in any kind of combination or anything if he's not properly set. So he has to make sure his footwork is so fundamentally basic, I guess you could say, that he believes it has to be in a certain position before he really is willing to let his hands go. I've been preaching that forever. And for some reason, I thought that he was just going to magically change that. I drank, like I said, I drank the fucking Kool-Aid and it tasted good up until about 11:15 Saturday night. You know what I mean?
It seemed like Spence was trying to prove a point of I can box. Too. I'm just not gonna go in there and walk you down and maul you. Yeah. And at times it seemed like he could have really put his. Not that he didn't put his pedal to the metal because he threw over 1,000 punches. I mean,
anytime a guy throws 1,000 punches, I can't say that he's not trying to get a guy out of there. We can't forget that Robert was really legitimately going to stop the fight. Yeah. Mikey's dad wanted the big Robert wanted the fight stopped. You know what I mean? Yeah. He asked his son a couple times to stop this fight. He didn't want to see his son take that beating anymore. But back when this thing was originally signed, somebody asked me, "Hey, can he go? Can he survive if he just wants to survive?" Yeah, absolutely. Him shelling up and Errol not being able, like you see Errol where he'd sit down and really dig to the body here or really dig to the body on this side. When he shelled up like that and his elbows are tucked in, you know, Errol realizes them punches ain't really getting through right there right now. So let's back off again and try to set this up one more time. Right. You know what I mean? Let's try to set up these big shots again. Mikey's so fundamentally sound that he's able to survive. And he's able to say now, "Hey, I'm doing things other welterweights can't do."
Well,
the welterweights can't do. You know what I mean?
There was times I believe, and I think it was like the 9th round. He hit him with some body shots that you could tell hurt him.
Oh yeah.
And if he would have jumped on him there, I think he would have dropped him, but he didn't.
Yeah, it's very possible.
He backed off. after the fight, he said he kind of didn't want to be responsible for hurting Mikey like too bad to the point where it could stunt his career or stop his career, and things like that. So, I mean, I don't think he was going like Errol Spence is known to get on the inside, and once he's in there, he's not going to let you out. So,
nobody really knows other than himself.
Yeah.
Derek was preaching for him to get him out of there.
Yeah.
Derek was preaching for him to get him out
of there.
Derek
was screaming to the corner,
telling Robert, "Stop this son of a bitch." Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to admire Derek James, man, to do something like that.
Real quick, I mean, the fight didn't go how anybody expected. Everybody expected either.
It went exactly how Derek James expected it to.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to know, actually, I talked to him, and it went exactly how he expected it to. He said that Earl is just as good a technical boxer as Mikey, and we're going to show you that because he's got every physical advantage, and he's right. Derek's right. That was a great game plan, man. Come out, work behind the jab, and just let everything flow. That's a basic game plan. And
it was good.
Great.
It's a great game plan. I don't know if you remember. I mentioned when we talked about it pre-fight. I told you about the jab, how important that was going to be. Really didn't get in depth into it, but Spence has one of the best jabs in the game.
He's got one of the most educated jabs for sure. I'm not going to say it's the stiffest jab. There's probably a couple guys that's got stiffer jabs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as when to use it, how to use it, he doesn't fluctuate the speed quite like, say, Lomachenko does, you know what I mean, with his. Or even Crawford does if he needs to, like changing the speed up to change delivery.
Yeah,
but what he does is it's consistent. It's going to be right on. Yeah.
Right. He uses it to control the distance.
Exactly. It's consistent. Whereas when you start fluctuating the speeds and stuff, you're using it to open up offensive opportunities most of the time. But everything can be worked off the one. You'll see. I preach that a lot. Work off the one. Work off the one. There's a reason that the jab's the most important punch in boxing.
I felt like he was trying to get Mikey to open up at times, and Mikey just wouldn't do it.
No,
I think he threw like 6 punches in the first round. He only landed, I believe, 75 for the entire fight,
and that's higher than what I truly believe the number is.
Yeah, I think it was 64 to the head and 11 to the body. I mean, it's a risk, but if you're gonna stop the bigger man, you got to go to the body. Early.
Bro, you got to get in there and dig. You've got to get in there and dig if you can't outbox him.
And
you know what I mean? When he should have known by the end of the second round, I can't outbox this guy. You see what I'm saying?
I think in the second round he had a little 30-second flurry there. It might have been one of the rounds that people might have gave him, but if you
it was toward about like 30 seconds to go.
Right, but if you judge the round in its totality, it was technically a fifth round. But obviously the judges agreed too. But I think after that 30 seconds, he caught him a few times with probably some of his biggest shots, and said to him,
"The way it seemed to me, honestly, yeah."
And
when I'm not hearing no instruction in the corner to change things, no kind of adjustments are being made. The same thing over and over. And this guy's
go the distance, not even win the fight.
Exactly. And then after every round, he comes back pumping his fist. He knows he's not in the fight. You know what I mean? He's been fighting. He's been boxing long enough to know he's not even close to winning this fight. Sure. What the fuck's he pumping his fist for? Moral victories?
So before we get into Spence, what's next for Mikey?
For Mikey's got a ton of doors open, man. A ton of doors open for him. I've preached since the beginning. This come with a parachute. This fight come with a parachute, but it was a brilliant business decision. And it was, because now
the fight
how about Danny Garcia, Adrian Granados winner?
Yeah. Or
if he wants to stay at 147.
Yeah. But the fight came with a parachute and a hell of a beating. So
absolutely. Maybe he knew he could take that beating though. There comes a time that it's easier to take a little bit of a physical pain and keep your pride than to risk being stripped of your pride, I guess. And
so the Granados Garcia winner could be an option.
That's something I would look at if I'm them. You know what I mean? If I'm going to stay at 147, although I think 147 is way too big for him.
I think it's 135. Body, I mean, the way he's talking, it sounds like 135. It's not plausible. So 140, perhaps.
I'd have to see his body at 140. to see whether
it better be
35
better
was
than the
probably
last
real.
time we saw it.
Yeah,
He looked
last time it was a
bloated
little.
against Lipinets.
He did. He looked bloated. Looked like he could have gotten to 135. You know what I mean? So,
I don't
and
know.
that's we don't really know.
And
I
now
won't question whether he really can get that back down there or not. I think that here's what I think. I think that he's using I can't get back down there as leverage to get Lomachenko to move to 140 because at 140 the odds change on that fight a little bit. Do you see what I'm saying?
he's open.
And
He's open to Lomachenko too, according to him.
at 140.
Yeah.
Or if he goes back down to 135.
Coming off a loss, I mean, you can't really dictate a lot of terms. Maybe
well, he can.
Because he's got that Mexican crowd behind him and that fan.
He's got the fan support. He
brings the money.
The reason I've called this a brilliant business decision from the word go is you've made now he is the A side to the Lomachenko fight. You see what I'm saying? Now he may not be the better fighter, whatever you can look at it however you want to, but he is the A side. What's Lomachenko going to fall back on? Hey, I sold out the theater at Madison Square Garden. Fuck, he just put more than that on the floor at AT&T. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he is the A side. You know me, I'm a big Lomachenko fan, but I'm a realist too. And the reality is he's the A side now. So if he wants to get him to come up to 140, it's the only way Loma's getting that fight, then that's just probably what's going to happen.
Well,
if Loma wants that fight, and Lomachenko needs that fight way more than Mikey needs Loma. Do you see what I'm saying? Mikey's going to get his 5, 6, 7 million every time he steps out there. There's several guys he could fight for that. Like I said, the Garcia winner, Lipinets, not Lipinets. He's already fought Lipinets, but he could probably get a couple million to fight Peterson if Peterson was to somehow fluke up and beat Lipinets this weekend. You know, shit like that. There's guys out there that
there's enough things. That's enough out there to keep him busy.
Absolutely, in the PBC bracket for sure.
He could even take on the WBSS as the winner. So it's a lot of avenues. Although that tournament might not end, I don't know when. So
we don't know. We got there won't be nothing left but the finals right after a couple months.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll see. There's numerous things.
I mean, right now he's probably going to think of a get back fight. You know.
Yeah, probably so. Just fall back, make a couple $1 million, and move forward. Unless he's seriously all about legacy. Wait a minute, let me rephrase that. Not legacy fights, but money fights. Big money fights. Okay. And if that's all he's about, then you wait out possibly Danny Garcia. You wait out the WBSS winner. You wait out he's coming off a $10 million payday almost, so he can pretty much do what he wants to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, shit. He could.
Yeah, I mean, Lomachenko needs that fight. I did a piece of interview series I did with Lomachenko, and there was one guy that he pointed to in that interview, and that was Mikey Garcia. That's the only fight he was really interested in. The fight he felt like would solidify him as the pound-for-pound king. Yeah. And I don't know if some of the shine's not taken off of that. It may be in some people's eyes, and it may not be. I don't know. But still, Loma needs him more than he needs Loma. You see what I'm saying?
What about now? Let's flip it. Errol Spence, IBF title. Mm-hmm. He's talking Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is not there. He looks like he gave up mentioning Keith Thurman. So
and pretty much. And he pretty much had blown off Porter until Porter got kind of cocky on the post fight.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
And we know PBC is trying to keep their welterweights with PBC. Mm-hmm. I get that. I get why.
I don't. I'll never get why. Well, I get it from a business perspective.
From a business perspective, that's all it is.
From a fan's perspective, it's flat sucks.
Yeah, you keep the money in house. So, you know what I mean?
Which is illegal, by the way.
Yeah,
technically,
yes, it is. But, hey, make that money.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm more powerful.
They got. You know, I guess you could say they got 4 of the 5 top welterweights under one banner. So you're gonna get that. So probably
So you got Manny, Earl, Thurman, and Porter. Yeah, Porter's top 5.
So, obviously the fight everybody wants to see, Spence Crawford. I think that the winner of that, is wins obviously welterweight supremacy in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Only person that don't know that or believe that is Keith Thurman.
Yeah, whatever.
But they'll make him a believer as soon as he gets in the ring with him.
Yeah. So now, I floated out an idea, and then Boxing Scene did an article today. I think came out. Manny Pacquiao saying Manny Pacquiao probably face Keith Thurman, Spence face Porter, and the winner of those fights face each other. There's a little mini tournament here, plausible.
Okay, I'm going to play Tim Smith for a minute, or Sam Watson, whoever you want to be, Al Heyman. I'm going to play them. I'm running PBC. That's the path I would take, and I'll tell you why. It gives me a proven seller in both fights. You know what I mean? If I put Spence against Pacquiao, Thurman is a proven seller to a certain extent. What I mean by that is he does very, very good. He does Deontay Wilder type numbers, when it comes to viewers. So he's going to get the viewers, Keith Thurman is. But if you can separate Spence and Pacquiao, two proven pay-per-view stars, two guys that's actually been successful on pay-per-view, and that gives you 3 pay-per-views instead of one or 2. You see what I'm saying?
I think right now, because of what happened Saturday night and the broader audience that Spence was introduced to, I think a Pacquiao Spence fight right now makes a lot of sense too, from a money standpoint.
It does. It does. And the only thing that would, when you floated that welterweight tournament, PBC welterweight tournament idea, and out there, that stopped me from going and saying absolutely great idea is if they could figure out a way to get Manny Pacquiao in the final, then I guarantee you they'd do it.
Yeah. A Porter fight for Manny Pacquiao will probably be a lot like the Horn fight.
Jeff Horn, yeah.
So
except for Porter's actually a better boxer. So
yeah, Keith Thurman right now, it's interesting. I only seen the guy once in 2 years.
Yeah. And he showed flashes of brilliance and looked like shit at other times. Yeah.
Yeah. So could he fade down the stretch against a Manny Pacquiao? Manny Pacquiao himself hasn't looked like Manny Pacquiao, but he still, he hasn't lost that roster. He still draws. So
and you got to figure he's still going to beat most fighters.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. He's still pretty good, even though
he's still pretty good at 41 years old or 40, whatever he is. This guy is still an elite fighter in today's boxing, and that's crazy. He's still top 5 in the most glamorous division in the sport. So that tells you a lot. That tells you just how good Floyd Mayweather was, don't it?
But do you think they make this happen?
Spence Pacquiao next,
or do you think we're gonna go Porter, Spence, Pacquiao, Thurman? Winner versus winner.
I think that's more likely to happen.
You could even put the losers on the undercard to, face each other.
How about this? What if I add 4 more welterweights to it? Not great ones, but just names. And now we make it an 8-man tournament. You see what I'm saying?
Well, you already know Al gonna keep that money. So
it could be all his guys.
Yeah, you got Danny Garcia there.
Exactly. It could be all his guys. What was the deal for Pacquiao? Was it 2 or 3 fights they signed?
3-fight deal, I believe.
If it was 3, then the 4-man tournament would be best if possible. Yeah. But if it's 2, then go ahead and get the Spence fight out of the way. If it's 3, then I'd run that 4-man tournament.
But Manny looks happy, so who knows? I think they'll keep working relationship even after this ends if he chooses it to stay in the sport because the end is closer to.
I know Manny Pacquiao's manager real well. His new manager. He's always been involved, kind of off the scene with Manny. He's also Orlando Solito's manager, Sean Gibbons. I know him real well, and known him for a long time. He's not going to make a bad business decision, financial decision.
Like Manny, I think Manny.
He's not going to make a bad financial decision from here.
Manny's in a happy place. He doesn't have a promoter talking for him now. He seems more comfortable. Uh, Manny was good to Bob, and Bob was good to Manny in many ways. And in some ways, he wasn't so good to him. But
Yeah, that's the way it is.
you know, so I don't mind seeing a little mini PVC tournament, I guess you could call it.
Hey, especially if it gets us to the winner of that son of a bitch getting closer to the other side of the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially if it'll get the grandparents to give the kids permission to go to the other side of the street. That's all I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Or at least play with the kids from the other side of the street.
It kind of leaves Terrence Crawford out in the cold.
No, not really. Not really. Because think about this. Didn't they offer Danny Garcia $5 million recently for that Crawford fight that Colin's fighting?
You gotta understand, man. Heyman guys aren't doing anything that Heyman don't want them to.
No, they're not allowed to by contract.
Yeah.
He's the only one with that contract over a fighter. He makes the final decision on everything. It ain't okay.
So they could want that bag, and still get
why don't, if you're Al Heyman, you put this little 4-man tournament together, why not feeding Danny Garcia?
But
Hell, you fed Danny to everybody else, right?
Yeah, but these guys are loyal, so and they've been rewarded for their loyalty because Heyman has given these guys at one point or another purses that at that time they even Floyd has said that they should have never gotten.
Absolutely.
So things like that. So I can understand from a loyalty standpoint where some of these people are coming from. But at the end of the day, it is a business, and you got to do what's best for you. So let's hopefully we'll get more clarity. We'll see what's going on, and we'll get back to the people when we find out more. But switch gears real quick. Dominic Breazeale finally is going to get his title shot. My personal opinion should be Dillian White. I'll come out and say that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Go ahead.
But WBC does what the WBC does, and I can't fault the champion for that either.
No, I don't.
I get the fight. I get the fight from Wilder's standpoint. There's really nobody else for him to fight at the moment.
No.
And if the sanctioning body calls for it, then you just got to do it. Get it out the way. So as you saw today, they had an interesting press conference. The fight's no longer. They were floating the idea of pay-per-view. It's going to be on regular Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
Right move. So, what do you think, man?
About the fight, there's no problem. I got no problem with the fight. It's not really just because he's fighting Brazil don't mean he's ducking anything else. Just like
there's nothing to duck.
I'll take the same stance with Wilder that I took with Joshua when he signed the Miller fight. He was under the perception that Fury Wilder was rematching, right?
So it was Deontay Wilder.
So was Deontay Wilder. The only person that didn't know was Tyson Fury. The only person that did know, you know what I mean? So I had no problem with inside of the Miller fight. Yay. It gives him a chance to open the door in America. You know what I mean? No problem with that at all. I have no problem with Deontay Wilder fight. None at all.
So, I don't know what the money's going to be like for this fight.
I got some rumors, but I don't know. And it's not going to be a whole lot. It just simply ain't. Showtime, what is it, $60 million a year in the Showtime budget?
Yeah,
for
something
PVC?
like that. Yeah,
$60 million a year. So how much of it can they realistically give him? You see what I'm saying? They can't go but so far on it.
This is what
without it going to pay-per-view. Without it going to pay-per-view, they can't give him but so much of it, of the $60 million.
Here's a quote Spinoza told us, the media, today.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the fight belongs, not a streaming platform with a limited audience. He's retaining his independence. I'm not going to go into detail, but Deontay has made a choice that demonstrates loyalty and will be financially lucrative for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you also know what Deontay Wilder said about that, right?
He said, talk to my manager, which is odd.
Yeah.
Because normally he speaks for himself a lot, you know. But
well, no, he did an interview with Keith Addick from Boxing Scene on it.
okay, I
And
haven't seen that one yet.
he said that he trusts them to do for him what they did for Floyd Mayweather.
Well, shit, Floyd Mayweather had a lot to do with what Floyd Mayweather did.
That's not good. Not saying
that Al Heyman
but he's a
might not have
heavyweight,
had
though, with knockout power. Floyd didn't have none of that. That's what Deontay said.
Well, Floyd had the ability to get people to hate him so much to order his fight to lose. They will order his fight to watch him lose. And
absolutely.
And shit. And his boxing skills are
Floyd also fought 26 world champions.
I was just going to say
26
that
world
too.
title fights, bro.
So he
also fought 26 world title fights. Who the fuck's Deontay going to fight if he's not fighting the other two guys? That he's going to make that kind of money. Think about that a minute. It's not there.
When I say, well, Joshua is fighting Miller, Wilder is fighting Breazeale, like, on a serious note,
I don't even care.
It's not that deep.
Exactly.
So
if they're not fighting each other, none of them's making $100 million in 3 fights.
Yeah. So maybe Joshua.
Joshua Mike can make $100 million in 3 fights. Yeah.
Yeah, because of the UK fans, but
yeah, he's still got the White fight. He's got a few fights he can make 25, 30 million. Klitschko's rumored to be maybe coming back. Think about it.
Yeah, Fury dropped a bombshell, really threw the division like for a loop. To be honest with you, when he signed with ESPN.
Frank Latruzzo, he's a great journalist. He does stuff for the Sweet Science, Hannibal Boxing, done boxing. He's been everywhere at some time or another.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And he goes Fury, ESPN, Wilder, Showtime, Joshua DAZN. That splits up. That ain't good at all. Now think about this. And I told him, I said, Frank, you've been around a while just like I have. Okay. Do you remember when Ray Leonard and Hagler was fighting, or Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield was fighting? Do you remember anybody mentioning what network they were on? Did anybody give a shit? Did we care who promoted them other than Mike Tyson because it was always in the public eye?
I don't care about that stuff even now. Like, I watch a fight in any network, but
it was never even brought up then, though, bro.
Yeah.
Now it's used as an excuse by fans even. It's using it as an excuse by fans even to not make fights.
But
that tells me that fans have accepted the excuse.
Is it really an excuse?
Yeah, it really is.
At the end of the day, because
at the end of the day, it really is, because if Aaron and Floyd can work together and Showtime and HBO can work together, then anybody can.
Yeah, but they're not. So at the end of the day, like, the zone, ESPN is not going to do anything to help the zone.
They're getting ready to have a.
So hopefully this shit stops and we could resolve. I think in a way, if you want to maximize the money on this fight, it shouldn't be on the DAZN platform. It should be on the pay-per-view platform. If you really want to maximize the money of the fight. As far as views.
Not the first one, I don't think. I don't think it gets anywhere near enough pay-per-view buys.
Well, how much do you think the first one gets?
Let's just say it would take it for Wilder to make $40 million at 40%. Do you know what it would have to sell? 2.2 million buys.
That's not that would be like the third or fourth highest grossing fight ever. It
would boot Floyd's ass right off the list with Canelo. Yeah. What does that tell you? What's the odds of that happening? The first time they fight.
With Oscar.
It might be Oscar, but it boots Floyd, one of the top 3 off the list. It's what it's going to take.
So
because bullshit. Because if it does $1 million at $100, then it's $100 million. No, guys, the fighters only got access to about 56% of that money maximum.
Yeah,
cable companies got to have their money. You know what I mean? Got to have their money. Shit like that, you know?
Right. So I mean, the zone is willing to put it on their platform. Eddie Hearn has said himself that it's probably better on the premium.
Yeah,
So they're open to that
he
idea.
believes more people will see it there. And I think I would do this if I was Wilder. Hey, how about we do the first one on the zone? We bring the second one to Showtime pay-per-view.
And they're doing or vice versa. You know?
I would, I would want the first one on the zone because I don't think it does as well. Well, I don't know. It may.
I don't know, man,
Because what happens if the other guy gets knocked out in the first round?
That's what
Second
I'm
round.
saying.
Yeah.
But
Here's the thing that people are overlooking with that DAZN deal that Wilder, he had a guaranteed $40 million rematch no matter what happened in the first fight. He can't guarantee that in one fight, in a one-fight deal.
But
he can guarantee a rematch, but not that kind of money.
But if I'm not reading too much into this, those two sides are still negotiating, aren't they?
Joshua Hearn and Wilder Finkel.
Yeah,
they don't talk to each other. If Skipper's willing to help them negotiate the deal, then yeah, maybe.
So right now, there's no talks. All talks were halted. Hearn was the first one to initially make that 15 million, I think it was.
15 million for Breazeale, Kalnacki, or White, yeah.
Yeah. So and then Wilder chose to talk to Skipper, which was smart.
Yeah, he bumped it 5 million.
Hey, cut the middleman too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that didn't work out. We're gonna get this on Showtime. How much the purse is gonna be, I don't know. But
I'm gonna guess the total purse probably. Here's the thing that a lot of people's not looking at. He didn't just hurt his money; he hurt Breazeale's too.
Yeah, I would say it's not. I would say it's not gonna be $20 million.
Oh, it ain't gonna be close.
Yeah. So basically, because it's not pay-per-view. They were giving him a huge purse, which they might open up the checkbook a little bit.
10 million, maybe.
Yeah. So it will be pay-per-view. The other thing too that I'm getting out of this is that we don't know what's going to be next after all this shit goes down.
We don't have a clue. No guarantee.
So
I'm hoping June 2nd we can start some Joshua Wilder negotiations back up, and I'm hoping John Skipper's going to sit on the meet and make this happen.
You know,
or whoever. I don't care. I don't give a shit who sits in on the meeting.
I
know who ain't going to. Without Skipper there, I don't think it ever gets done, though. At least not the first fight. That's why I think DAZN.
Is Fury the odd man out?
No, Bob will make a fight, man. I see a lot of people say Aaron will hang up a fight. Let me tell you something. If it makes money and makes sense, Bob Aaron's all about it. Right. He's proved that in the past. I mean, the only fight that you can literally say he's held up is Mayweather Pacquiao.
But you got two guys. Okay, I'm not worried about the fighters themselves. And you, like you said, Bob will make a fight, but you got two guys that want control. So
I don't think that matter.
Is Eddie gonna let
let's co-promote the motherfucker? And,
are they gonna do like a simultaneous ESPN Plus and the Zone type thing? You know, Joshua is not.
Oh, you're talking about Joshua Fury?
Yeah,
I thought you was talking about Wilder Fury. Okay.
No, I think
Wilder is
I think Wilder Fury is further away than it will be for Joshua Fury right at this moment, just because of what Fury did.
Maybe that's possible. That's possible. We don't really know without being Al Heyman. I would say Deontay Wilder, but it's not really. There's more goes into it.
It's the team,
and
that's what I mean. Can Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn do something?
Well, they can put on ESPN pay-per-view. Joshua's not contracted to DAZN.
Exactly. But
here's the problem. Where the problem would come in would be in the UK, because one's contracted to BT Sport, the other one's contracted to Sky.
And here's the other problem. So that's a bump on the road. The other problem is, will Hearn be winning? Because at that point, that becomes a top-ranked vehicle. Know what I'm getting at here?
I mean, it would still be co-promoted, and Matchroom would be the larger promoter. But there's always the reality that Aaron has a relationship with Disney that Hearn don't have.
Yeah, and I don't see BT Sports giving up that fight too easy.
Absolutely not. Not in the UK. Why would they?
You know,
I don't see Sky giving it up either. You know what I mean? Ain't neither one of them will give that fight. That's
so
the biggest
would
fight.
they be willing to do like HBO and Showtime have done, where they do like a?
I'd have to.
You know, like they combine the broadcast teams and things like that. Who knows?
They would have to. And that fight would have to take place in the UK for them to maximize that money.
It's a lot of politics. So
I'm so sick of politics, man. It's crazy in boxing. It's crazy.
Guessing,
people say they were always there. They wasn't always there either.
I'm guessing we'll get some more clarity.
That's come along in the last 15 years.
Right. I guess we'll get some clarity sometime this summer. You know, yeah, it's a little ways away. So
all the politics up until the last 15 years or so, tops, I guess.
And you
was because of sanctioning bodies. It wasn't because of networks and promoters and all that bullshit.
And right now, right off the bat, you taking Deontay over Breazeale?
Of course. Of course. Breazeale's pretty basic, and
he could be hurt.
He doesn't really. He's a guy that wins through being tough. You can't beat Deontay Wilder being a tough guy. You're gonna get your ass beat. You're gonna get knocked out. Yeah.
Yeah, because you could do everything right for 12 rounds.
Yeah, you beat Deontay Wilder by being the superior boxer and hoping you can and with straight punches and shit like that.
And hoping you don't run
not by saying, here, you hit me, I hit you. That's gonna get your ass beat.
Because Wilder's the type of guy you can dominate for 11 rounds, but if he catches you.
Yeah, but Breazeale's not the type of fighter who can dominate him for 11 rounds.
Exactly. But I'm just saying in general, Wilder's the type of guy you can dominate. There's always that chance that if he catches you, it's lights out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I don't know, man. The heavyweight division is in flux. But
to be fair, Breazeale's got some power. He's got some stopping power. So realistically, it's probably the hardest punching guy that Deontay's been in there with, as far as knockout percentages and stuff go. So we'll see.
Right.
I think Breazeale's got about an 80-something% knockout rate, some shit like that. It's close.
Yeah. We'll see.
He's been down and got up to win and shit like that. You can't. You don't go down and get up. Yeah. Unless your name's Tyson Fury, you don't go down and get up and win against Deontay Wilder, bro.
That motherfucker was the Undertaker that time.
So,
yeah, man. I guess that's about it, man. We're gonna wrap it up. So Breazeale, Wilder, May 18th on Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully after that, the heavyweight division could give us what we want, and that's Joshua Wilder. If not, nothing else is worth talking about, unless it's
if I can't get two of the big three in a fight, I don't want to see it.
Yeah. So, but the welterweight division seems to be heating up, and we're in my opinion, we're going to be in for some good fights. With the great fight probably coming sometime next year.
Yeah, that's hope so. Let's hope so.
2020. If it doesn't happen next year, then Errol Spence probably moved up to 154.
Yeah, I honestly don't think we ever see Spence Crawford, and I hate that, but I don't think we do.
Yeah, I don't. I'm surprised
we're starting to lose too many of those type of fights to the politics, and that's why I'm really getting burned out.
Honest with you, I'm surprised Errol Spence is still at welterweight. You know,
hey, bro. I seen some stuff on his hydration levels and shit this past weekend, and yeah, he's getting there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's getting to a maximum before he's going to have to move up.
He's got like 1-2 fight max.
I just hope they can somehow figure out a way to get him and Crawford together. I don't think it happens. Sadly, in today's boxing, I think this is going to become more and more frequent too.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Folks, we're going to try to do this a little more often. Coming with straight content, fire. That's my boy Chris Bone right there. Chris, any final words?
Not really, bro. I guess we out.
We out.